Hey guys, James here from eBassGuitar, and in today's bass guitar lesson I'm going to talk about how to play walking blues bass guitar using the legendary Blues Brothers track Sweet Home Chicago. If that sounds good and you're a beginner to intermediate bass guitar player, make sure you check out this lesson all the way to the end. Hey guys, James here from eBassGuitar, and in today's bass guitar lesson I'm going to be talking about how to play walking blues bass guitar and show you how to play the legendary Blues Brothers version of the tune Sweet Home Chicago. This has the incredible Donald Duck Dunn on bass, so I'm going to be showing you some bass lines inspired by his original bass part. So let's give you a taster of what we're going to be covering today. Just before we hit the lesson content today, I want you to know that there's a completely free PDF which comes with this lesson, which will show you everything we're discussing today written out in standard notation and tab. There's a link in the description below where you can grab your free copy. Also, if you want to get the backing tracks that we're using today, these can be found in the backing track vault, which is part of the Bass Lab Plus membership. There's a link in the description below where you can join the Bass Lab Plus free today with a 14-day trial. So the great thing about playing walking bass is it is a really powerful technique which can be as simple or as complicated as you like, and it can be found in multiple genres of music, from blues through to jazz through to rock, all the way through to classical music. In its most simplest form, walking bass is just playing a single note on every beat of the bar to create a consistent pulse which drives a piece of music forward. With that in mind, we're going to start super simple, and all we're going to do is play 4 root notes per bar to begin with. Sweet Home Chicago is based over a 12-bar blues in the key of E, so we need to be super familiar with that structure too. A 12-bar blues in the key of E has 3 chords, and the root notes for those chords are an E, an A, and a B. So to begin with, I suggest using the open E, an open A, and a B at the 2nd fret on the E string. So let's go through the 12-bar blues sequence now. So we start off with a bar of E, then we go to a bar of A, then we're going to go back to 2 bars of E, then we're going to 2 bars of A, back to 2 bars of E, then up to a bar of B, a bar of A, a bar of E, and then a bar of B. But to make things a little bit more interesting, on the 12th bar I'm going to put in a turnaround, which is you can hear Donald Duck Dunn using on the original Blues Brothers recording, and this will just make it that little bit more interesting. And the turnaround is these 4 notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and they are 8th notes, and the notes are an E, an A, an A sharp, and a B, and it plays played just like this. And again, everything I've just been through there is written out in the free PDF which comes with this lesson, so make sure you download that and really get super comfortable with the 12-bar blues sequence before moving on. So let's hear what this sounds like in context. So that is a perfectly good walking blues bass guitar line to start off with, and the most important thing is to make sure you're playing a strong, consistent pulse which drives the band forward. Now let's make things a little bit more interesting, and I'm going to show you a walking blues bass guitar line inspired by the legendary Duck Dunn of the original Blues Brothers record of Sweet Home Chicago. And this is a simple 1-bar bass line which sounds like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this and move it through all 3 of the chords. So in the key of E, or over the E chord rather, what we're going to play is an E, a C sharp, a B and a G sharp, like that. And if you think in terms of intervals, this is the root, the 6th, the 5th and the major 3rd, like that, and it falls really nicely under the hand. Now all we have to do to put it into A is move that shape up a string. So that's going to become an A, an F sharp, an E and a C sharp, like that. The intervals relatively remain exactly the same. Now to put it into B, all we have to do is shift everything up 2 frets, or play the notes B, G sharp, F sharp and D sharp, like that. So what I suggest you do is practice each of those bass lines in isolation. So the one in E, just rounded like that, and then the one in A, round and round like that, and then the one in B, and then put it through the blues sequence. And I'm going to show you what that sounds like just now. I'm also going to keep the little turnaround in bar 12 there, so because that is a really great little piece which really differentiates when we come back round to the beginning of the sequence. So let's hear what this 1-bar blues walking bass line sounds like in context. Guys, if you're enjoying this lesson, make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus. The Bass Lab Plus is a step-by-step program designed especially for the beginner to intermediate bass guitar player, which gives all of the skills you need if you want to join the worship team, if you want to play at a jam session, if you want to join a band, or simply if you just want to rock out to your favorite tracks at home on YouTube. Specifically, there are 2 courses to check out which will build on the content of this lesson. Make sure you check out the Rookie Blues Bass Intensive, and make sure you check out the Essential Walking Bass course, which will both substantially push your knowledge of walking bass forward. There is a link in the description below where you can join free today with a 14-day trial. So to finish off, there's one more simple but very important concept that you'll find in Sweet Home Chicago, and you also find this in countless other blues tunes too, and this is called hits or stops. So when you hear the lyric 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 8, something like that, come on baby, why don't you make me late, all the band does is literally play a short note on the first beat of every bar. So let me demonstrate. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and that goes for the first 3 bars. Then on bar 4 we do a blues run up, which is just simply these 4 notes. It is an E, an F sharp, a G and a G sharp, and then the sequence just carries on as normal with your blues walking bass line. So it sounds like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, ba-doom. Like that, and the sequence carries on. To make things a little bit more interesting, I'm also going to show you a variation on the Donald Duck Dunn bass line which I taught you earlier, which sounds like this. So what we could do now is play 2 8th notes at the beginning of the bar. So this is, and like that, and then we could go to the F sharp like that, and then back to the E, and then we could play 2 8th notes on the end of the bar by going to the F sharp to the E like that. So we get it. Don't worry, this is all written out in the PDF which comes with this lesson. The other thing I'm doing, which is really cool, which you might want to integrate into your bass line, is I'm sliding into that F sharp like that. When you take it back into E, you'll get this. and then up to B, to the A. So you can see how we're really starting to build this bass line up and start to add some really interesting variations on it. So let's hear what this idea with the stabs and the stops and the new bass line sounds like in context. To finish off this lesson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple of choruses of the 12-bar blues sequence so you can see where the ideas that we've covered this lesson can go. Also, you'll see some of the bass lines that I would naturally play too. Don't forget, if you need more help with this stuff, make sure you check out the Rookie Blues Bass Intensive in the Bass Lab Plus. So guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you've enjoyed this lesson, make sure you download the free PDF so you can see everything we discussed today written out in standard notation and tab. Also, if you're looking to discover more about how to play walking blues bass guitar, make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus membership, where you can take the Rookie Blues Bass Intensive course. There's a link in the description below where you can join free today with a 14-day trial. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com, and I'll catch you next time.